I believe we're back. There you go. Lights, cameras, action. All right, let's see if we get back to Philip here. All right, welcome back, Philip. Yeah, I'm having suddenly some issues. My computer seems to be overheating and just kind of freezing up. And that's kind of what happened there. I had to do a complete restart. So are you back with us there, Philip?
Yeah, I'm back with you, as Big Ed would say.
All right.
Yeah, what I was saying earlier, and daggone data centers, man, they're taking all our power, Steve, and they're just freezing everything up there, man. Dadgummit. But anyway, what I was saying earlier was if that driver was a freelance with C.H. Robinson in some capacity as like doing in their admin or doing something like that, or even if they had their own trucking company and were leased on with them directly, you know, that could be why C.H. Robinson's going to take the handle for that one. What you feel about that, buddy?
I don't know. I guess that's the precedent setter, as they say. Do we have to have some sort of a cap on these verdicts? That's been proposed before. Yeah, I mean, you can't put a price on a human life, right? But I mean,
absolutely,
you got to be realistic, though.
Yeah, I know down here with certain insurance, with accidents down here, there's a cap on a lot of stuff. As far as the punitive damages and all that stuff, I mean, the legality system is really skewed. I mean, it needs to be regulated just as much as what they try to do with trucking and anything else in the world. And I get it. Somebody gets hurt. You know, you can't put a price on somebody's life. I understand that.
Yep.
You know, but you've got to also understand you have to give the company enough leeway to where they can make the money, to generate the money, to stay in business, to keep making payments on stuff. You know what I mean, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that, as far as the business side, that was never looked at. You know, they figure, you know, you got a bond for this amount of money. You know, you're liable for this set much of money. You know, we're good to go, that kind of thing. And I don't know. I've never had my own business per se, like in that kind of way. But, you know, it seems like to me there would be some kind of situation set up to where a company could settle out with somebody, individualized or another company or whatever, and say, listen, I've got to stay in business. I've got to keep going. This thing, you know, theoretically, if you look at it, Steve, a company could go bankrupt and claim bankruptcy and say, this put me out of business, and then absolutely no money at all is going to change hands, you know, except for the lawyers and the bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of, I mean, you think about like take, for instance, I'll just use Yellow as an example. A company like the size of Yellow, you know, every time somebody had some freight that was messed up and they had a claim filed on it, you think about how big that company was and the amount of claims alone that company generated in a day or a week. You know, the average trucking company, it would put them out of business,
right?
You know, because the company was so big. I mean, even look at CF back in the day, you know, the amount of how big that company was, the amount of claims, just on claims alone on their freight that gets damaged is astronomical, you know, and a small mom and pop trucking company, not even a tenth of what them guys were burning up in claims would put a mom and pop, you know, a small 10 or less truck company out of business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's crucial to make sure that everything's right in your business. You know, I mean, safety, that's why they preach safety like they do. You know, you need to make sure that truck is all done up right, and you know how to drive it, the whole bit. You know, I mean, it's a big deal. And Steve, did you catch that little SpaceX launch the other day?
I didn't catch it live, but I saw the replay. It looks like that was, would you say, the most successful thus far? Actually did release some Starlink satellites and had a very soft touchdown in the waters.
Well, Elon Musk has got a a good problem, and I know not too many people hear that term anymore. A good problem is when you got a problem that you have to do something, but it turned out positive. And his problem is he's got a starship to recover, and a fully reusable one, probably could be reusable. The only problem with it is the saltwater intrusion on it from landing in the Indian Ocean corroded that stainless steel to the point probably that, I don't know if that ship would ever be reused again, but it's a good test article to where they could see how the damage was on the heat shield.
Mm-hmm.
They could see how the resiliency of all the systems on it. My biggest thing that I thought every one of those that's hit the water is blown up.
And that was I was going to ask, I mean, why did it not explode? I mean, there was fire. I mean, where did the fire come from around it after it did kind of splash down?
Okay, so this version of the Starship, what they went in and they redesigned the ship, they redesigned the pressurization system for the fuel. So all of your, whether it was the liquid oxygen or whether it was the methane, they went in and they redesigned all the plumbing. They went in and redesigned all the, pressurization systems that, keep the pressure in the right place. And they also thickened a lot of different things on it, a lot of the piping and different things. They changed a lot of the thicknesses of the metal. They changed a lot of variants and stuff. But that ship held together and stayed in one piece. Where that fire came from was for the venting. Okay, so that ship has vents on the side of it. And when things are suddenly cooled down, the heat pushes it back out, and you got a fire. Now, that fire was just from the residual left in the vents, It's kind of like your lawnmower. When you flip it over and you have that gas that comes out of your lawnmower.
Right.
That's the residual from your venting and whatnot. It's the same kind of thing with that. Now, before that, they didn't have the vents in place as much, and the plumbing dialed in as they do now. Now, the one that was before this was the same type of variant of it, version 3, and it blew up. It blew up. But this one here was sealed up a lot better, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, we're talking about those satellites it released. Those satellites were so big, Steve, they couldn't fit on a Falcon 9 rocket to be put up into space with a Falcon 9 rocket. So he's going to bigger satellites that can do more things. And those satellites, they only had 30 minutes of life. So essentially, when they were released out of that ship, they only were up there for about 30 minutes, and then they deorbited and burned up. They were just used as experimental stuff, taking pictures, evaluating the ship, and testing systems with Starlinks with the lasers. And I'm talking lasers to send the signal over a laser instead of doing it over a radio wave. So it's pretty neat stuff there, ain't it? I tell you, I was really impressed with it. Now the booster, on the other hand, I think they ran that thing out of fuel. What do you think, Steve? Did you see that come back?
What landed in the ocean there?
Yes. Okay, so the booster went up. They tried something different this time. They wanted to run everything at max. So picture, you got all 33 engines running at max power. I mean, full power. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you do your deorbit burn or your return to Earth launch, or the that they do to re-entry. They ran that with all 33 engines backfiring to protect the booster, but they ran it at a lot more power, a lot more faster. Okay? They wanted to see how it could sustain as far as more power hooked into it. They did the same thing when they came down for the landing burn. They fired up a bunch of them at the same time, but then when they went to go down and do the last few that they do on final touchdown, they kind of, I wouldn't say they flamed out, but they just cut out. And that was kind of the failure in the deal. The only thing that I seen that was a failure.
Okay.
But the next one, this is what I want everybody to watch the next one, because from what I'm hearing is They're going to either catch the ship or they're going to catch the booster on the next one. I do know that with this ship, and they had cameras by on the flaps that were looking at it the whole time. They have this apparatus that's on the side of the ship that they hang it on that launch pad to catch it, a catch.
Mm-hmm.
That apparatus actually survived this flight. So you never know. That thing might go around the Earth one or two times and then come back down and land on that pad this next time. So there's going to be some kind of catch. It's either going to be a booster or it's going to be the ship itself. I hope it's the ship, because that they haven't done that one. The booster, yeah, they've done that one, but it's a totally different booster than this one. And I would like to see them catch this booster back again. But what's really going to be amazing is when they can get both pads going, and you can catch the ship on one pad, and you can catch the booster on the other pad, and you've got a totally reusable ship. What do you think, Steve?
They're making good progress. I haven't seen where their stock price went. I mean, it was kind of down last week after they delayed for a second time. As successful as that one, I'd venture the IPO numbers are probably up this morning.
They probably will be, but I'm going to tell you right now, folks, you can invest in SpaceX. It's going to be like investing in any other company now, because it's all settled down on all the popular Blair is off of it. I just think that when they make profit is when they are going to actually haul stuff in, that is when there's going to be profitability and their stock is going to generate more income.
Mm-hmm.
I think now that they're still in the testing phase, they're not going to be making, that stock's not going to generate a ton of money. I mean, it'll generate some when they have milestones that they make and stuff like that, but I don't think that stock is going to generate any. So, But that's all I got today, buddy. I appreciate you. I know you're coming down to that news time, so y'all have a good day, and thanks for having me.
All right, and when we come back, right along that line, I came across, and I did a double check to make sure it wasn't just a fictitious social media story, but there was a Falcon 9 rocket launch back in, I think, like January of last year. And it delivered, I guess, the satellites to orbit, but it ran out of fuel, so they could not bring it back safely. It's on a trajectory to impact the moon here in just a few short days. Like I said, more the rest of the story coming up. First, plenty of room for you at 844-844-3388. News, a service of Industrial Injection, fuel injectors, fuel pumps, turbochargers, and complete diesel engine kits for the heavy-duty world. If it burns diesel, we can help keep it working.
Truck down.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning Iran against attacking Israel, saying any response would be met with overwhelming force. He appeared on Fox Sunday Morning Futures.
If Iran attacks Israel, either directly or through proxies, either with ballistic missiles or UAVs or killer drones, it will make a terrible mistake.
Netanyahu is set to meet with President Trump at the White House this week as Trump weighs whether to launch another military action. President Trump is directing the Interior Department to place signs outside the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, warning of alleged historical inaccuracies. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries appeared on CNN's State of the Union.
Here's the thing. Black history is American history, and we are not going to let the extremists whitewash it. Not now, not ever.
Jeffries says Democrats will pursue legislative and legal action to challenge the order. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven. You can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Like the men and women who power America, the people at Hot Shot Secret work hard and play harder. We're the fastest growing diesel and oil additive brand in the country. We solve problems. We protect engines. We save you money. And more importantly, time. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com. Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Sommers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
So you missed an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, and now you're suffering night sweats and panic attacks. Well, don't worry, we've got the cure. Never miss a broadcast of the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive. Consistently ranked as one of the top podcasts and radio shows in America, we've made it easy for you to catch up on past shows. Find the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive wherever you get your podcasts or at overnightdriveradio.com. And never miss an episode of the Steve Sommers Overnight
Because
Drive.
Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
All right, so according to the report, I mentioned it's just days away, August 5. So next week, a Falcon 9 upper stage launched by SpaceX January of last year will collide with the moon after more than a year drifting through space. The rocket successfully delivered, it was actually 2 private lunar landers before its job was complete. But with no remaining fuel to change course or return to Earth, it was left on a trajectory that will end with an impact near Einstein Crater at approximately, I think that's 2:35 in the morning. There, August 5. The upper stage, about 12 meters long, 4 meters wide, weighs roughly 4,000 kilograms. So, of course, they're using all the metric, traveling around 8,750 kilometers per hour. Expected to strike the lunar surface and create a crater maybe 20 to 30 meters across. Now, they say because the stage is mostly a hollow metal structure rather than a solid rock, scientists expect the impact to produce a different type of crater and ejecta pattern than a typical asteroid strike. Researchers hope to observe two key signatures of the collision: a brief flash at the moment of impact and a plume of lunar dust rising above the surface. If conditions are favorable, both professional and experienced amateur astronomers might be able to record the event from Earth using high-speed cameras, providing valuable data to compare with impact models. Beyond the spectacle, they say the collision offers a rare scientific opportunity. By studying how the impact unfolds and where the debris is deposited, researchers can improve techniques for locating future lunar impacts and refine models that may support upcoming moon missions, including the placement of seismometers to better understand the moon's interior. Sometimes even the final chapter of a rocket's journey becomes a valuable scientific experiment, turning a piece of space hardware into another step toward understanding our closest celestial neighbor. So yeah, August 5, a few short days away. Very interesting. There's no concerns. It will not harm the moon. Just a big crater, lunar dust. All right, it's 844-844-3388. I think Eagle made it home to the home 20 over the weekend and dozed off on us there. All right, haven't seen from our friend, the two-time world champion bull hauler. Has he checked in this morning? I just see Bob in Michigan on board. There's Mr. Montgomery, 71 degrees southwest Ohio. I was going to ask two-time about the announcement of the Department of Agriculture Friday announcing a reopening of the southern border to livestock imports from Mexico, after determining the country had increased its efforts to combat the flesh-eating New World screwworm. Recall, a few months ago we had those cases in Texas and one in Utah, and everything just suddenly kind of went silent on that. In a news release, the first port, this is going to be a phased reopening, the first port will reopen in Douglas, Arizona, August 24, followed by Columbus, New Mexico, September 14, and Santa Teresa, New Mexico, September 21, provided conditions continue to improve. The Biden administration initially cut off cattle imports back in November of 24 after a screwworm case was detected there in southern Mexico. The policy was reversed shortly after President Trump's inauguration, but implemented again a few months later as the pest was moving northward in Mexico. Now, they tell us Mexico typically sends about 1 million calves across the border annually, accounting for roughly 5% of the cattle processed here in the U.S. According to the Wall Street Journal Friday, the loss of those cattle has exacerbated the shortage of livestock that's squeezing the meat packers, sending prices for like ground beef and steaks to record highs, as we know. Retail ground beef prices averaging $6.83 a pound in June. That's an 11.5% increase over the same point just last year. Average price for a USDA choice sirloin steak, $14.45 a pound. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins said in the release that the border decision was made primarily with the protection of U.S. herds in mind, protecting the U.S. from the New World screwworm, pushing the pest out of Mexico and back to the Darien Gap is a top priority at the Department of Agriculture. It has the full attention of the Trump administration, according to Rollins. The closure of the southern ports of entry from last year has been a tough, necessary action to control the spread and protect the American livestock. Thanks to work across the federal government with state, local, and industry partners, it's now safe, they say, to reopen the Douglas port in 30 days to resume the hundreds-year-old movement of cattle. This is kind of a contentious move. U.S. ranchers concerned about the spread of a parasite with a history of thinning herds and raising costs. Meat industry executives said opening the borders is safe and one of the quickest ways to ease beef prices, relieving some of the financial pressure on cattle production there in the southwestern USA. As we talked ad nauseum at the time, this parasitic fly is not something new. I mean, it goes all the way back to the 1960s. When essentially we eradicated it, but in June, it was identified in a 3-week-old Texas calf. Dozens of U.S. cases confirmed since then, with the fly appearing on cattle and other animals. All the cases have been reported in Texas, except one that involved a dog. It was actually New Mexico. I think I said Utah. Rollins told the Journal closing the border gave the Department of Agriculture time to increase construction of sterile fly facilities, improve surveillance for the parasite along the border, and improve screening procedures for imported cattle. For example, Mexican cattle will move through a disinfectant dip vat when entering the U.S. port of entry. Female screwworm flies mate only once, so sterile male flies help suppress the parasite's population. The U.S. Department of Agriculture said only one cattle and bison born and raised in Sonora or Chihuahua or treated under the screwworm protocols before entering those states will initially be eligible for import. Other Texas ports will reopen only if Mexican states adopt the same screwworm control safeguards, they explain. Some ranchers, including the cattle trade group RCAF, which has gained favor among the Trump administration, have argued against reopening the border, though. Chief executive of RCAF told the Journal the border should stay closed until the parasite is completely eradicated to protect American cattle. They're saying this is a real threat to U.S. livestock. So, again, maybe at some point we'll get two-time world champion Bull Hauler's take on that. But it was kind of interesting how all the headlines about the screwworm just disappeared from the news. All right, we'll get to other industry headlines. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? Patience is a virtue. And being in a big hurry got him nowhere fast. The California Highway Patrol responding to a reckless driving incident that ended with the Toyota crashing off the freeway into a field. The afternoon last week, July 23rd. A report of a Toyota sedan driving recklessly in the Willows area, hitting speeds of 90 miles per hour just before he attempted to thread the needle between two semi-trucks. Highway Patrol said the Toyota struck the rear of the truck in the slow lane while he was attempting to merge into the fast lane. The impact of that caused the Toyota to spin into the fast lane, where it was crunched into the side of another big rig. That sent the Toyota off the freeway into a nearby field, where the driver ultimately was hospitalized with minor injuries. The truck drivers were not hurt. Drugs or alcohol do not appear to be factors. Even when you're in a rush, resist the urge to drive at unsafe speeds in an attempt to get to your destination faster, as this driver learned a totaled car and an ambulance ride to the hospital greatly increased the time of his trip.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud? Always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard. It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com. Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000. Want to advertise your brand on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive and help grow your business through one of the hottest radio shows and podcasts in America? We would love to hear from you. Rates have never been better to put your brand on our show, or maybe you just want to kick the tires. Email us at ssod@hotshotsecret.com and take the first steps towards taking your brand to the next level through advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
And then there's our old pal Mitch McConnell, which according to Radar Online, they post here a few hours ago, after weeks of questions, McConnell's staff released a health update. It's pretty much the same as they said, a week or two ago, when they released that photograph. That looks like it was years old. It simply says, the senator suffered no broken bones, stroke, heart attack, concussion, or hemorrhage, and is continuing rehabilitation after developing mild pneumonia during his hospital stay. That's it. Okay, so still ain't nobody seeing him. We ain't heard his voice. And the bigger question, why the 911 first responders unconscious, performing CPR or life-saving measures. And I'm sure Pappy could answer the question, but I know, my son tells me anytime you do chest compressions, you're going to break some ribs if it's done correctly. It's just pretty much every time. And especially, you're talking an 84-year-old man whose bones are going to be brittle as you know what. And then they say he suffered no broken bones, no stroke, no heart attack. It's just same old song and dance. All I know is, our August 3rd deadline, they've almost stretched it out long enough. Yeah, more and more continue to post his birth date in 1941 and his passing date to be announced August 3rd or August 4th. That's what they're saying. All right, so it's 844-844-3388. How about our Hall of Famers? Few baseball Hall of Famers have waited longer than Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, and Jeff Kent to feel like a rookie one more time. Beltran, as he opened his speech yesterday, said, "This is the closest thing to my first at-bat in the big leagues, where I feel excited to be here. But at the same time, I feel very nervous." It's finally time to relax for Beltran, Jones, and Kent, whose collective patience was rewarded when they were enshrined in front of an estimated crowd of 12,000 on a sunsplash day at the Clark Sports Center in Cooperstown, New York. There was a record 60 living Hall of Famers in attendance yesterday, with the 57 already induced sitting on the stage behind the 3 new inductees. That brings the Hall's official membership now to 354 people. Beltran, elected by the Baseball Writers Association in his 4th year on the ballot. Jones earned enshrinement in his 9th year of eligibility. Jones said, "This is a day we're not going to forget. I feel like a rookie today." Kent, who never received more than 46.5% of the vote during his 10 years on the writers' ballot from 2014 through 2023, was elected by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee last December. Kent said, "Johnny Bench told me this morning before we got on the bus that I belong." You belong, he said. The trio delivering speeches, touching on the international flavor of the day and the long paths they took to baseball immortality. Kent was a 20th round pick for the Toronto Blue Jays out of Cal 1989, hitting 351 of his 377 homers while playing second base. The most ever by someone at that position, apparently. Recalled growing up racing motorcycles as a teenager before his dad offered to buy him a pickup truck if he earned a college scholarship to play baseball. He said, "That truck, it's still with me. It's in the garage as a reminder that some of the simplest things can change the entire direction of your life." Kent hit 274, 78 homers, and a 777 OPS for the Blue Jays, New York Mets, and Cleveland from 92 to 96, before emerging as a star with the San Francisco Giants. The infielder hit 297, 175 homers, and a 903 OPS, winning the 2000 National League Most Valuable Player Award during his 6 seasons in the Bay Area. Meanwhile, Jones, who signed with the Atlanta Braves out of Curacao for $46,000 as a 16-year-old back in '93, mentioned his 16 fellow Curacao natives who have reached the majors as the first player from the Caribbean country to actually make the Hall of Fame. His .254 average, the second lowest of any Hall of Fame position player, 1,933 hits, the fewest for a Hall of Famer who began his career after 1970. But the election of Jones, who averaged 33 homers and over 100 RBIs per season, while winning 10 Gold Gloves over 12 seasons with the Braves from 96 to 07, emphasizes the growing emphasis on rewarding a player's peak rather than their longevity. He's now the 8th member of the Braves National League East dynasty to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining his teammates Tom Glavine, Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux, Fred McGriff, John Schmoltz, as well as executive John Schmerholtz and manager Bobby Cox. Yeah, what a team that was. Bill Beltran, a second-round pick of the Kansas City Royals in '95, took the stage to chants of Puerto Rico in honor of his native country. The 49-year-old pulled a Puerto Rican flag from his jacket pocket early in the speech. Congratulations to our 3 new Baseball Hall of Famers. All right, news and service of industrial injection, serving Cat, Cummins, Detroit, and more. Fuel injection, turbochargers, and complete engine solutions. The knowledge you trust, the quality you depend on. IndustrialInjection.com.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000. Truckers spend lots of hours on the road. So when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones. So you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor, here with Tax Help MD. As many of you know from Steve Sommers' show, I've been helping professional drivers solve their tax problems. I can help you too. If you've been struggling with back tax debt, call me now at 888-557-4020. Let's face it, these problems aren't going away all on their own. You need professional help so you can sleep better at night knowing you're in good hands. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep my eyes on the IRS. 888-557-4020.
USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he plans to attend the UN General Assembly in New York despite calls for his arrest by New York City Mayor Zoran Mandani. Netanyahu appeared on Fox Sunday Morning Futures.
I've appeared just about every year, not every year, but almost every year in my prime ministership, unless there are security conditions. But barring that, and I don't expect that to be the case this time, yes, I do intend to come to New York.
He dismissed the allegations as bogus and accused Mamdani of promoting hate and fear. The first Kenyan to play in the NFL has been deported by ICE. The agency says that 37-year-old Daniel Ogama Adongo overstayed his visa after his NFL career ended, and he had multiple arrests in Indiana over the past 9 years. Adongo signed with the Indianapolis Colts back in 2013. Water czar Tom Homan told News Nation ICE recorded a record number of arrests in June, with over 43,000 people booked into detention.
In June, we had the highest numbers of arrests in the history of the agency, ICE, and July's tracking even beat that. So we're hitting on all cylinders now. We're deportation maxing.
DHS data shows that nearly 66,000 people are currently in ICE custody as the agency expands enforcement efforts. SpaceX is celebrating the successful launch and landing of its massive Starship rocket.
Starship Test Flight 13 blasted off from Starbase, Texas Friday evening. After deploying 20 Starlink satellites into orbit, the V3 rocket then successfully landed in the Indian Ocean.
Starship descending into the Indian Ocean, down to one, and we're in the water. And it's a soft splashdown in the water.
SpaceX is trying to get Starship ready for a crucial NASA test flight next year that could set the stage for the next moon landing. I'm Lisa Taylor.
From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help. And hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
Right now, it's an active investigation. We have our detectives at various different places speaking with witnesses and the victims.
A Texas teenager is in the hospital following a mall shooting in a Houston suburb.
Police say one juvenile was shot and another is being detained after last night's shooting near the food court at Deerbrook Mall in the town of Humble. The Humble police chief says a bystander was also being treated for a gunshot wound. Video of the scene shows mall shoppers scrambling for cover and law enforcement securing the area. The condition of the injured juvenile is unknown. I'm Lisa Taylor.
Sean Diddy Combs was placed in solitary confinement after getting into a fight at a New Jersey prison.
The 56-year-old reportedly got into a fight with another inmate at the Federal Correction Institution in Fort Dix. The inmate allegedly said something to Diddy that triggered the altercation. Diddy's in the middle of his 50-month sentence for transporting prostitutes. He's enrolled in the prison's residential drug abuse treatment program and earned time credits to move up his release date to February of 2028, 2 months earlier than anticipated. I'm Natalie Migliori.
Two men are accused of parachuting from Seattle's Space Needle after police say they entered the attraction with tickets, changed into gear, and jumped from the top level. Authorities say the suspects have not yet been found and the investigation remains ongoing. AAA reports the national average price for a gallon of gas is $4.11. The highest average is in Mono County, California at $6.85, while the lowest in Floyd County, Indiana is $3.29. For USA Radio News, I'm Anthony Lucero.
Would you know where to turn if you or a loved one became paralyzed? For thousands of families, the National Paralysis Resource Center has been that lifeline. But now federal funding's at risk. Sherman Gillums Jr., a partially paralyzed Marine veteran with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, explains why.
This is about more than just a budget line. It's about veterans, caregivers, and families, real people who need these resources to live more productive and independent lives.
Learn more at ChristopherReeve.org.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your shop for Industrial Injection Torque Lock Injector Cups today. Advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive can make a huge difference for your business.
This is Dean Michael, the tax doctor, and I just want to say advertising on Steve Sommers' show has been the best marketing avenue for my business, providing the best return on investment consistently over everything else I've tried. I've done it all from TV commercials, pay-per-click on Google, search engine optimization, social media, and publishing ads in major magazines, but none of them came even close to doing what Steve Sommers' show did for me.
If you're interested in advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, drop us an email at ssod@hotshotsecret.com.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
We go as we cross over the midnight hour there on the West Coast. Yeah, welcome into the greatest day of the week. Yes, indeed. Final week of July here as we close out the last weekend of July. It's now officially in the books. So trust you had a good weekend. It's 844-844-3388. Well, it's been a few days since we've had heard from Klondike Mike checking in here. Morning, Mike.
Hello, Highway Boss. Good morning to you, Mr. Sommers, and thank you for logging me in.
What's been happening? Good to have you on board.
Yes, sir. Hey, Steve, that New World Order flesh-eating screw worm sounds like the Hill up there in Washington. Sounds like our Democrats.
Right.
But no word yet, Steve, on potential Lieutenant Fowler's ejection lever yet. They must be either digging deep or they lost my phone number
okay.
or my address. But anyway, yeah, it's not really that funny. It's a pretty serious deal there, Steve. But yeah, I got a really neat story. I have many stories of the Alaska pipeline. I worked it back in from 75 to 77. I was up in Prudhoe Bay when Elvis died, and man, everybody in camp was crying up there. But I wanted to touch real quick on the Palisades there, Steve. You know, there was 100 architects. They put 1,000 plans together, sets of plans for approval for the LA City Building Department. They presented them, and Karen Bass shot them down. And she promised she would speed up the permit process, Steve, through the LA Department of Building Department there, which is a nightmare anyway. I worked there for quite a while there, back and forth down there in Los Angeles. There, we built a house there. I was a superintendent for a company called Allert. We built this house at 767 Paseo Miramar, and it's gone, Steve. It's gone, and I just Googled it. If you Google 767 Paseo Miramar Pacific Palisades, it's funny when you look down on it. There's a horseshoe ring around it that I remember Karen Lyons and Charlie Lyons, they owned it. They planted edible plants so the deer coming out of the hills there had something to eat on. And they had Jose, our landscaper, change out all the landscaping to that. And that is still there. It completely surrounds the concrete that's left there. When you look on the look down on it, it wasn't burned at all. And the house next to it is still there. And this house, it was about a 10,000-foot French chateau. It had every safety feature known to mankind. It had the most modern fire suppression system that LA mandated that you could put in all the orange pipe everywhere. It had the high-tech sprinkler heads. And that thing burned to the ground, Steve, and it is amazing. I don't know how the trees around it didn't burn. Only the house. I mean, it is just literally gone. And those people, they were really nice people. I feel so bad for them, though. But anyway, I have a cool story about the pipeline. I was up there in Prudhoe Bay. I was there 3 times. And Prudhoe Bay is off limits to the public. You can only get to Dead Horse there. You can get gas there for $10 a gallon. But I was working for Houston Oil, and we were installing the gathering lines coming out of the wellheads, going to the main pump turbine at Pump Station 1. And I got to stay at BP British Petroleum Camp number 2. Excuse me. Number 1 was for the executives, and it's a monster buildings. These buildings look like they should belong on Antarctica, but not much difference there, I guess, the top of Alaska and down below there. But BP2, another monster building, elevated way up in the air for the snow. But that was for the construction workers, and you weren't allowed to wear your shoes. You had to wear your socks or slippers there, and they had cameras on every outlet, a little ball that stuck out on the outlet there. But I remember this one trooper. His name was, we called him the Hook. I called him Marshall Dillon, but his name was Corporal Jim Vaden, the Hook. He's in the books there. He's historical. This guy was huge. He lost his hand. I can't remember which hand it was, Steve, but he lost his hand in an explosion, and he had to replace with a stainless steel hook. And man, he was intimidating. He would break up fights that the 798ers out of Oklahoma, the pipeline welders, they were always fighting. I mean, them guys, I don't know how they worked. They partied all night and then worked their butts off all day and then fought all the time. But boy, he was intimidating. And he was famous for breaking up poker games. I mean, the union would fly in. I remember I was in labor's union, so our labor boss would fly in at a twin-engine Cessna. He'd fly up to Prudhoe, and they'd have big poker games, high dollar poker games. Some of them with $30,000 pots. I'm not kidding you. And this went on the whole pipeline. I remember being down at Live and Good, and the same union boss flew in for a game there. But anyway, I was up there at BP1, and I was coming back with my dinner out of the cafeteria there. Fantastic building. Everything that you could want, and it's free. I mean, 3-course dinners free, recreation free, everything free except the, commissary, they called it. But anyway, I walked by this room, and I see this locomotion going on down the hallway there. And I got my tray of food, and I'm seeing these people, and they're like waving at me, come here, Mike. So I'm walking down there really fast, and I walk by this one door, and I hear people yelling. And here, this trooper, his name's Corporal James Vaden, they call him Jim. He was called the Lawman of the North. I saw him hit a poker table, Steve, and bust it in half. And the chips went flying up in the air, and the guys all got up and stood back. And I remember he said, I ought to arrest every one of you. The game's over. And I don't know if anybody got their money back, but I was there when that trooper, boy, he busted that doggone table right in half. And he's gone now, but he was one of the old lawmen that patrolled the North by himself in really extreme survival situations. He helped people out, and because up there it's unbelievable. You got the Kaparik oil field, you got Prudhoe Bay oil field. Now you got the Anwar. The whole top of Alaska is full of oil. It is sick how much oil is up there, Steve. But anyway, on that, did you hear, Steve, about what they found there at the low water down there in Colorado at that one reservoir?
I don't believe I have. Well,
I guess a hunter was out on one of the reservoirs on one time during the winter when it was froze over, and his four-wheeler went through the ice, and I guess it's been stuck down at the bottom there, for many, many years. Well, this week it got low enough, Steve, where that guy's actually getting his his four-wheeler back.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I got for tonight, Steve. Thank you, boss.
I'm guessing his four-wheeler's not going to be much in usable condition, right, after being submerged for an extended period of time. All right, on to other industry headlines here on a Back to Work Monday. Officials in Georgia investing roughly $7 million to address truck parking along a major freight corridor in the state. Announced by the Georgia Department of Transportation, part of their 4-year statewide transportation improvement program. The multi-million-dollar investment plans to add a total of 59 truck parking spaces at 2 locations along I-75 in Monroe County. Yeah, the 2 locations are the northbound way station and rest area 22 southbound. According to the DOT, the I-75 corridor between Atlanta and Macon ranks among the busiest freight corridors in the country, a vital connection for freight moving from the ports of Savannah and Brunswick to Atlanta area distribution centers. The way station project estimated to cost the state an estimated $4 million. That'll be the first to begin. The department will look to add 23 truck parking spaces at that location. That's anticipated to begin this fall. Is it just me, or $4 million for 23 truck parking spaces? Sounds rather excessive, but all right, budgeted at $2 million, the Rest Area 22 project will add an additional 36 truck parking spaces, construction to begin in the summer of 27. Construction of each project expected to take about 12 months. Both projects currently open for public comment through August 15. In addition to truck parking, the state is undertaking other plans that will benefit truckers. The DOT recently releasing a project timeline for the I-75 commercial vehicle lanes project. Last week they unveiled kind of like a simulated view of how that corridor, it's like a 30-mile stretch or 40-mile stretch through a number of counties there. Yeah, how that's going to work along I-75. In total, the commercial vehicle lane project will span 41 miles across Henry, Spalding, Butts, Lamar, and Monroe counties. They say there will be no tolls for using the commercial vehicle lanes. DOT officials said the project design will be finalized. Construction expected to begin sometime next year. Of course, that's going to be a rather lengthy project. Yeah, the commercial vehicle lanes expected to be completed by the end of 2032. So it's a 5-year project. Are you still going to be driving truck when they get the commercial vehicle lanes open there through Atlanta? What a headache. All right, clear lines at 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Truck downtime costs you money. One hidden killer on Cummins ISX-15 engines is weak injector cups. When they leak, coolant gets into the cylinders and suddenly you're facing a big repair bill. Industrial Injection has the fix. Our Torque Lock Injector Cup Kit with a threaded Torque Lock design. These cups stay sealed for good. No more coolant leaks. No more surprise downtime. Keep your truck on the road. Ask your or shop for industrial injection torque lock injector cups today. Truckers spend lots of hours on the road, so when it comes to staying connected, you need a headset that works just as hard as you do. Blue Parrot is the #1 headset brand for professional drivers, and we've taken the quality you've come to expect from us and made it even better. Check out our newest headsets, the Pro B350 and Pro B450, offering you more hours of talk time, better voice control, extreme comfort, and industry-leading AI voice isolation microphones, so you can spend more time talking about the important things and less time repeating yourself. To get yours, check out BlueParrot.com. Blue Parrot, hear and be heard. It's time to step up your fuel filtration game. The AirDog heavy-duty diesel fuel system doesn't just filter fuel like the others. It fully optimizes your truck's fuel system for peak efficiency. The AirDog removes contaminants, including particulates, water, air, and vapor, optimizing the pressure feed, providing your engine with the ultra-clean supply of fuel it needs for the quickest starts, smoothest idle, best fuel economy, and highest performance possible. Get started on the road to optimization today at airdogdiesel.com. Ready to beat the heat this summer? Keep your long haul, short haul, off-road adventure, or just stay cool while on site with Be Cool. Designed with on or off-the-road vehicles in mind, Be Cool offers you DC-powered cooling, low voltage protection, easy installation, and more. Beat the heat with Be Cool. It's the cooler way to go. With air conditioners for semi-trucks starting at $888. Get yours today. Visit b-coolaircon.com or call 778-590-5000. That's 778-590-5000. Advertising on the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive can make a huge difference for your business.
This is Dean Michael, the tax doctor, and I just want to say advertising on Steve Sommers' show has been the best marketing avenue for my business, providing the best